Hi, my name is Kathy Nash and I'm running for York Township Trustee. There are currently 4 York Township Trustee positions and all 4 are up for election this cycle. All 4 incumbents are Republicans and have served a minimum of 15 years. I moved to Lombard 11 years ago with my husband to raise our 2 young sons. We really love the community feel of the western suburbs. Since moving here, I've been very involved in the community. I've served as volunteer board president and project manager of Prairie Food Co-op for 8 years. Prairie Food Co-op is a community-based initiative to open a cooperative grocery store that supports local farmers and food producers. In that capacity, I've been recognized nationally for the strength of my leadership, organization, and cooperation. Since 2016, I've served as a Democratic precinct volunteer. In that capacity, I make sure that voters in my precinct are informed about upcoming elections and that they have the information they need to make informed decisions about their votes. Last year, I co-founded a nonpartisan organization that aims to recruit, support, and elect more diverse candidates to positions of power across DuPage County. This election cycle, we recruited and supported candidates for school board, library board, village trustee, College of DuPage, and more. I'm excited to see this organization grow. Professionally, I am a senior software engineer with over 20 years of experience in website development and design, user accessibility, and building efficient systems. So, what is my vision for York Township? York Township's main role is to help residents facing financial crisis avoid homelessness. Right now, 80% of the York Township budget goes towards salaries and office supplies. That doesn't sit well with me. The township, which is funded by our tax dollars, should be providing more value and service to the community. So a top priority for me is reallocating funds to ensure that more services are delivered to the community rather than paying salaries and office supplies. Another top priority is transparency. Up until a few weeks ago, there was no budget or meeting information posted online. Our team had a very difficult time obtaining information that it should be public record. I want to clearly communicate to voters what the township does with their money, including salaries for each elected official. Voters should be informed about how their hard-earned tax dollars are being spent. Lastly, communication needs to be improved so that all residents can take advantage of township offerings. One common theme that I've heard when talking to voters is that very few people know that the township exists or what it does. My goal is to change that so that our township, York Township, is the pride of the community. So how has the pandemic changed the needs of York Township residents and what role does the township play? The pandemic has hurt people who are already struggling. Last year, DuPage County saw its highest unemployment rate in the last 15 years. That means that more people needed help, but it's very unclear how much assistance was provided by York Township. The lack of transparency makes it nearly impossible to see how many residents avoided homelessness because they received aid from the township. The township also reduced food pantry hours during the pandemic. While I appreciate and understand the need for safety protocols, there are absolutely safe ways to continue providing food to residents, especially during a time of increased need. Lastly, the township never converted to online meetings. They met through the entire pandemic in person, while almost every other government agency provided a means to attend virtually so that residents could stay informed on what the township is doing. Our township needs to get with the times and use technology to allow residents to safely attend meetings. With rising costs, COVID-related losses, what are my budget priorities? First, I want to clarify that York Township receives a tiny fraction of our tax dollars, just 1.63% on our property tax bill. For me, that came out to $43. And I think $43 is a bargain to help people in our community avoid homelessness. What are my budget priorities? Number one, I want to evaluate how to deliver more impact and service to residents by shifting money away from office supplies and salaries and putting more of our money into the general assistance fund so that we can help more residents facing financial crisis. Number two, I think it's important to evaluate whether the township is duplicating services that are already being provided efficiently and effectively by other local community organizations. For example, there are dozens of food pantries across York Township. How can we combine efforts to increase efficiency, reduce costs, impact, and reduce redundancy? And lastly, I think focusing on sustainable ways to cut back on maintenance expenses is a great way to save tax dollars. One great example is converting some of the lawn on the township property into native plantings. That cuts down on lawn care expenses and provides better drainage during heavy rain. It also attracts beneficial insects that eat problematic bugs such as mosquitoes. It's such an easy way to do something good for the planet while also reducing maintenance expenses and taxpayer dollars. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my plans for York Township. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach me at Kathy, Kathy, at yorkforprogress.com. My information and contact information is also available on our website, yorkforprogress.com. Voters have a choice between two very different visions for York Township this election cycle. The incumbents, who have all served at least 15 years, offer voters business as usual. Our slate, the York for Progress slate, wants to offer far greater transparency, improved communications, reallocation of funds so that taxpayers see more benefit from the township, and more. If you value the things I've talked about, then please make sure to vote on or before April 6th. This election comes down to voter turnout. So please take part in our democracy and vote for change and progress. Thank you.